Hashtag no music, no intro. Another episode of the hashtag Saints, like, do I say redacted podcast? Like, don't, don't know. Don't know how to handle it, Ryan. I really don't know how to handle it right now. I don't want to tell you too much about it. If you're in our Discord, you kind of know what is in store. But I mean, I think it's safe to say we can let our listeners know that we will no longer be going by Saints Twitter podcast.
Very soon.
In the future. It's something that Ryan and I have talked about, probably like dating back to last year, him and there. Talked about it, and then we were like, it's fine. And then we talked about it again, and it was fine. And so we really started getting steam over the last couple of months. Even put a poll out in our Discord, and it kind of died down for just a hot second. And then this weekend with fucking the idiots, dumbass Elon Musk, bro. We were like, bro, we were just like, no, we gotta go, bro. Gotta change it.
At some point, you see a train that's going off a cliff, and it's just like you gotta hop off that motherfucker at some point.
Is that a bus reference? The Saints? That's so no.
I mean, it looks double entendre, bro. Like
just saying. So name change is coming very soon. If you're in the Discord, you may have an idea of what the name change is going to be. I feel like we should just give reassurance to our listeners that our content isn't changing. If anything,
no.
Ryan and I have some things up our sleeves leading up to this upcoming season, especially with fucking training camp being around the corner, bro.
Right there.
It's been a couple of weeks, Ryan.
Couple of weeks, bro. But they gonna know. Everybody gonna know when it happens.
Yes.
And if you subscribe, this is why you should subscribe.
Right.
Instead of just, clicking on subscribe to the podcast. Because if you subscribe, nothing won't change. We still gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? But if you're, new people after that, we'll have to search for us. But if you're already a subscriber to this podcast, you still gonna be getting our podcast. Any new episodes that drop is gonna be in your whatever podcatcher you use to listen to a podcast. So subscribe, man. Like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you get all the new episodes.
Get the new episodes. I will say this as a content creator, as a podcast host, y'all gotta be a little like, just in terms of like the social media aspect. Like, I think as just individuals, we all just have to be patient with each other, because it's like, okay, like no, it's no longer Twitter. Oh, let's go to Blue Sky. Is this really what we want? Okay, no, we don't want to go to Blue Sky. Let's go to Threads.
It's interesting, bro. It's like, this is kind of a major thing that's happening right now, because I was talking with my coworkers earlier. Like, early internet, like when I started using the internet, say about 97, 98, say up to about 2004 to 2005, the internet is very decentralized. Just, you had your own little pockets of communities all over the internet, whatever it is. Black Planet, you had your forums, different forums for every team, different forums for every thought, you had racist forums, you had pro-black forums, you had forums that about video games, music, Cash Money Records forum. I used to be on there. All kind of stuff. Like, it was just a very decentralized place.
It was.
Then you saw, social media, MySpace come about, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff come about, and you started to have like a centralized location for everybody that's on the internet, to the point where like, we don't even go to websites anymore. We go to our favorite social media platform, and that leads us to other places. You know what I'm saying? And I think that might be changing. Like, might be going back to kind of a decentralized model where you got all these different alternative Twitters popping up. You got all these different alternative apps that's popping up. And so it's going to be interesting, man. So we gotta adapt. Like, as content creators, we got to be able to adapt to the marketplace. Really, we got to be able to see the future and kind of catch it before it happens. So that's where we at right now.
Or at least just be on the wave. So if you're listening to this, if you're on Threads, you can follow us on Threads. I believe our handle on Threads is still at Saints Twitter Pod. However, once the name change is official, then we will with the name change. We will change on Instagram. It will change on Twitter. It's going to change on Threads, Facebook, wherever we are. It'll change. We even have to change our Gmail account. So there'll be wholesale changes across the board. But that said, Ryan and I are very, very excited for what we have in store for the podcast and the future of it. If anything, I would say we are highly, highly excited for the future of the podcast. It's going to be a very this month is July. So on the 30th, we have the West Coast, brunch in Malibu, and it's going to be 16 of us, bro. 16 of us, people, Dan and his family's coming from the UK. And then, so that's 4 people. And then the rest of us, so the rest of the 12 of us are all on the West Coast, and we're all getting together, and we're all just going to have a good time and meet up. And it's going to be great. Absolutely looking forward to it. And then in August, we have preseason games starting. So that means that the Zooms are going to start again. And then before we know it, bro, it's going to be kickoff. It's going to be week 1. So with everything, coming up with the brunch on the 30th, me and Dan, are going to meet up at Disneyland on August 2nd. I'm taking my daughter. I'm meeting up with him and his family. We're going to have a day at Disneyland together. And I was like, and then we have obviously the big meetup for the Bears game, the West Coast meetup for the Rams game in December. I was like, I was just really thinking, I don't know why it hit me, but I was like, man, we have so many meetups and everything. And there's nothing wrong with an iPhone photo or an Android cell phone photo, but something was really, maybe it was my mom in me. God rest her soul. My mom was insanely into photography, to the point where several R&B artists had worked with her in the past to have her come out and take pictures at their shows. So I can only attribute it to that, because I don't know where it came from, but I was like, I want to capture these moments for our podcast, for the meetups, for our community, but also just personal, going on vacation with my daughter, my family, and everything. Just capture those moments and not just on the phone, right? I want a high quality, and very excited for camera I bought. So the pictures, once we start using it for these events and posting them on all these fucking platforms of social media. Really looking forward to it. And the camera I brought, didn't even know it. Well, I take that back. I researched it. Can work as an actual webcam. So when I'm going to be doing the Zoom on the meet, not the meetups, the Zoom with the games going, bro, I'm 4K HD in that bitch, bro. Go see oh shit, is that an ingrown or Adam's cheek? Yeah, you might see it, bro. I'm just saying.
I thought you were about to say ingrown or something else, bro. I was like, chill out, bro.
Why would I be showing that on the Zoom, Ryan?
That HD porn, boy.
But I gotta trap out for a reason with that bitch too. Gotta break that bitch in. Anyway, we wanted to record this episode and really kind of talk about training camps around the corner. When is training camp? I was going to look it up before we started.
I want to say the 26th, something like that. I don't know when the fans are able to show. I think they still got to put that out.
Usually, isn't it? Do they still do the weird thing with the rookies report first, and then
the rookies show up real soon?
Okay, yeah. So I picked it. I pulled it up. So the rookies report on July 18th, and then the vets join them on the 25th, which is funny because I leave on vacation on the 19th and I come back on the 25th, bro. So perfect timing, I guess. So
I think media will probably be in the building like 3 days later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that sounds about right. So it says last year 10 practices were open to fans.
Damn.
Yeah, and even it says, and that might scale back some this season from everything we've been
told. COVID really killed all that shit, dog. Like COVID came through, killed that.
And that I want to make sure I give credit to, like, the article I pulled up just randomly on Google. That's an SI article from our dude John Hendricks that was posted the 28th of June. So training camp around the corner. Essentially 2 weeks for rookies and 3 weeks for the vets. Football is soon upon us. It's been nice having that respite. It's been nice not thinking about the Saints.
Oh man, bro,
it's been lovely, Ryan. And now I want to make emphasis that I am in no way trying to insinuate that we are not gracious that we are able to fucking talk about football for an hour, and
we know what's coming though. We know what's coming.
It's like it's the Doctor Strange, bro. We in the end game now, and that's what I feel. That's what I feel. Because, and it's exciting, but we're gonna go from doing a podcast episode once a week to doing a preview show, a preview podcast, a recap podcast, the Zooms, live streaming the game with our peeps, with our Patreon people. It's a lot, but that said, we're looking forward to it. I'm not even not looking forward to the quote unquote amount of work, and I'm really emphasizing the quotes on that. It's just more of the team that we have a love and an affinity for more than anything, bro. Because it's something, man. It's always something, bro.
Saints, man.
But before we get into the questions we have going into training camp, because that's the topic of today's episode, I want to just quickly mention the last episode we did. We were talking about all the things that could go wrong and kind of the doom and gloom that could happen with this season. And just an ironic chef's kiss. A couple of days after that episode dropped, Foster Moreau puts on social media, "Clear to cancer, bro. Clear to cancer." Love to see it, man. Love to see it.
Love to see it. I will say when I got the little alert, I guess in my head, I thought remission was a bad thing. It was like cancer remission. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we fucking go. And then I got on the Discord, everybody's like, hell yeah, I'm like, oh.
He was confused. He's like, oh, y'all some sick motherfuckers. What are y'all crazy?
In my head, man, I just like cancer remission. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. They hadn't predicted this shit. They hadn't predicted it.
But in all seriousness, though, great news, and I guess even for me, right? I was one of the more outspoken people that was just I don't know, man. It just made me feel kind of iffy at best about the whole thing. And now, boom, don't got to worry about it. And hopefully he's beaten it. Well, he has beaten it, but hopefully it doesn't come back or anything like that. And
if you have a hairline fracture in your leg, Saints might not be the best place for you. But if you got
a life
cancer or a heart issue, life altering heart issue, Saints the place to come to, bro.
Side with us, bro. I just want to give a quick little listener note. If you hear any type of jingling or a bell, just know that my cat has not had a lot of attention today because I got home super late because of work. And so he literally just brought his toy to me, laid it at my feet, and was like, yo, motherfucker, pick this shit up, play, shake it, and engage with me. Play with me. Look at me. Right? So he wants a little attention. So if you hear a little bell, just know that that's what it is. I'm just trying to entertain him as we're recording. But okay, training camp. around the corner. Let's talk about some questions we have going into training camp, man. I know, during last training camp, we had a really good episode as training camp was happening, kind of like right in the midst of it. We had a good episode of like 5 questions going in leading into the season. Yeah. But before we even get to the season, don't even get to the season yet. I want to talk about training camp. So what questions do we have about training camp for the Saints before it starts in 2 to 3 weeks? We'll just throw them out. Keep in mind, folks, we did not discuss this before. We did not have a list or anything. It's oftentimes how we do episodes, which is, I guess, part of my appeal. But give me one off the top of your head of questions about this team during training camp.
First thing that comes to my mind, where is Penny? Where is Trevor Penny?
Where's he at?
Where is he as far as health? I expect him to start on the PUP. Like, I'd be shocked if he's not starting on the PUP. And outside of that, like, what are the reports? Like, do they expect him to, are they starting him on the PUP kind of as a safety and then keep on the pinch count and bring him in? Or, like, is it something where they just kind of got to wait and see when he comes off PUP? It's Trevor Penny's health. That's the question going into training camp. Where is it?
It's a huge one, bro. It's a huge one because it's a weird thing because it dictates a lot. But I think the biggest question about Trevor Penny pertaining to his health and all that may not even necessarily be, for me, it's like we as fans and the Saints of the team, we don't know if he's good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's again, and I know it's he's going into his second year. It was an injury riddled year,
right?
So that question may be a little unfair, but let's keep shit real. You're a first round pick. You're drafted in the mid first round. Left tackle. You got to show your worth, right? I tweeted this. I wonder, like in a couple of years, when people are talking about tweets, like the younger generation be like, "What the fuck is a tweet? Like, what is that, bro?" Anyway, so I tweeted this maybe a few weeks ago, but I kind of saw it on my timeline, and maybe it was around the NFL article talking about Tyler Smith, the rookie that the Cowboys drafted.
Yeah.
He was kind of thrown all around the line with the injury with Tyron Smith, and he was like at left tackle, and he was at guard, and whatever position he played last year, he played damn well on the Cowboys offensive line. I want to say he was from Tulsa, if memory serves correctly. Funny thing is, and I feel like I can maybe say this on the podcast now, is that Tyler Smith was like the Saints' plan C if they were not able. So their plan 1 was Charles Cross. That's what they wanted most in terms of the left tackle position. They weren't able to get Charles Cross. Seahawks were not gonna trade. They were adamant at staying at 9, if I remember correctly, because that was their guy, right? So Charles Cross goes off the board. Second player that the Saints wanted in terms of tackle was Trevor Penning, who they drafted. The third player, let's say Trevor Penning had maybe went a couple of picks earlier, whatever. And I'm not saying that the Saints would have drafted him, but I just know that in terms of like how they ranked the tackles, Tyler Smith was third on their board, right? So it's not, I'm not comparing this to like a Mahomes situation or anything like that, but you have a player that was drafted later in the draft, is doing well, is performing well for the Cowboys on their offensive line. We got to see it with Trevor Penning. And if he plays and maybe he's not good, at least you have that answer like more readily, quickly than just waiting to see what he is.
Right. And that's the whole thing. It's like, we need to know more. We need to see him go through training camp. We need to see him go through another preseason. We need to see if he can play left tackle. We just have to answer all those questions, man. And you can't even get to that until you see how his health is. So, it's annoying, but it's something that has to happen.
It is. It has to happen. And then I also kind of gives you, if you know what's going on with Trevor Penning, you kind of know like, okay, like not Charles, James Hurst, and like where he may be able to play or
Mm-hmm.
if he's able to play. It's just, it's such a huge question. Okay. My question going into training camp. And this is something, if a beat reporter, if Ross is listening, if John Hendricks is listening, Catherine Terrell's listening, when y'all are writing those training camp reports and they go full on offense, can y'all just mention, like, obviously talk about the play, what the outcome of the play was. Can y'all just let us know, like, was motion used before the ball was snapped? Because here's the thing. I don't want to say that if motion is not used in training camp, then it won't be used in the regular season. But if motion's not used in training camp, bruh, it ain't going to be used in the regular season, bruh.
It ain't happening.
I want to know, has Pete Carmichael, a Sean Payton disciple, a Drew Brees, like, follower his whole career, essentially, has he learned from last season of moving players around pre-snap? And that's the thing about, I think that's what made it so frustrating last season, is the players he had to move around last season, bro. You had extremely fucking fast players. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. Like, if you move those players around left to right, right to left, whatever, that's going to at least give your quarterback not the full answer to the fucking question, but at least part of the fucking equation.
It'll give you something.
It give you something, man. It will give you something. And it can force a defense to, if they were in a certain alignment, you move a fast wide receiver from the left side of the field to the right side of the field, they got to fucking change their whole, they may have to change what the defense is. Like, so
they have to commit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Greg Cosell talks about it all the time. A lot of the reasons people use motion and certain personnel groupings and stuff like that is to get the defense to commit to a playing style, pre-snap, because defenses change up pre-snap and they change up post-snap. They might show you something. Bro.
That is crazy. Wild. It is.
They will show you something. We see it with our own defense. They'll show you something pre-snap, and then literally the millisecond the ball is snapped, you'll see the coverage change.
Football players are wild, man.
It's wild, bro. And just the way, you just go back and watch Drew Brees. The way he used to diagnose that stuff was just like, man, it's just...
I miss it. Oh, we were so spoiled, bro. We did.
Oh man, the last 2 years showed you a lot.
Like, we knew how good we had it, and we knew how bad like things were going to be. But I always think about that fucking S. Morton, our Titans fan. He put that tweet out, bro. Like,
that's how the rest of us live, bro.
That's how the rest of us live, nigga. Like, what in our world? And as Saints fans, like, it was like we knew how the rest of the football world lived because we lived it so long prior to Drew Brees. Anyway, so getting back to the whole thing, I want to know, is motion being effing utilized during training camp?
Please,
when they're going full and if they're doing a scrimmage, or if they're going 11 on 11, ones against ones, twos against two, whatever. Please let us know if motion's being used, because if it's not, it's egregious, bro. It's an egregious crime offensively in modern day football in 2025, Ryan.
It is. Like, we can't roll into the regular season playing preseason style offense, because it wasn't no different. You look at the offense in preseason to the regular season, it was the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Milk toast offense. And you got players. You got Rashid Shaheed. You got all these running backs. You got AK. You got Jamal. You got Taysom Hill, which is he's a luxury at this point. Like, he's a 6 yards per carry luxury that you got just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? That you could do anything with. Man, like, get creative, Pete. Like, oh man, I just wish I could see Pete in the grocery store or something, bro. And I'm just gonna pull it to the side, bro. I'm gonna pull it to the side, man. I just need 2.5 minutes of your time, and I will give him the most best pep talk you ever heard in your life, man. I'm telling you, man. It's your time, brother.
Will it work? Bro, why did
Probably
I
not,
think?
man. I'd be like, man, look at Miami, man. Look at Mike McDaniels. Look at Mike McDaniels. Nobody will look at him and say, this is a head coach material.
That's a good point, Ryan.
Nobody's looking at Pete Carmichael as head coach material, but you can change that. You could change it.
To be fair, I can probably say with some certainty that Pete don't want that, bro. I don't think Pete want that.
He might not, but I mean, look, money talks. You know, like
it does.
You know what I'm saying? Like things change. You know, once you start believing in yourself, it's like maybe I can be a head coach. You know, maybe people do see me as a head coach. You could make that happen, Pete. Like you can make that happen. And I tell you, if you could run offense in this league, you'll get a shot.
Shit.
Bro.
Oh, bro, you can. Shot. You know it, bro.
I mean, he got interviews before years ago. He interviewed with the Browns. I think he interviewed with the Bears, maybe. He got interviews before. Then they talked to him and it was like, yeah, I see what's going on here. But you gotta change that.
He does. Okay, talk to me. What next question you have coming in training camp?
I mean, it's obvious, bro. Like it's Michael Thomas, man. Like where's Michael Thomas? We suspect he should be ready to go for training camp. But pretty much the whole training camp is going to be tight cheeks. It's going to be
oh man, you said it.
It's going to be tight cheeks because I mean, even last year he started, he came off pup and he played. You know, he showed his ass for like a week or two, and then he was on. You know, he was just injured. He wasn't there, and then he came back. Blah, blah, blah. I need to see a full. Even if we don't get a full training camp, we need to see him perform. I just hope there's no more lower leg injuries, no more knees, no more ankles, no more toes. I just need him to.
Bro, what I thought you were about to say? Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, bro.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, bro. I just need him healthy, man. Like, and it's crazy that we depended on it. It's like, damn, like, we was expecting him to be cut. Like, why didn't y'all just cut him so we can just move on? But they kept him, so now we got to stick with this hope,
bro. Hope season. Hope season. Great point. And I think the most important thing you said is how we as fans will be on pins and needles all throughout training camp regarding Michael Thomas. I mean, that's for like all like the quote unquote big important players, but like especially for Michael Thomas, man. And I was thinking about this pretty recently, and maybe it probably happened during like mini camp because I saw a player for another team like get hurt and like it was like a bad injury, and I was just thinking like, man, I kind of wish like experiencing training camp without social media, man. Like
I know, right?
It felt like I didn't like there wasn't, and to be fair, right? How I take in training camp write-ups and tweets now than maybe like what pre-NFC Championship game were two completely different fucking ways as well, bro. Like you would read because you'd be like, oh shit, someone got walked off the field. They were with the trainers, and it's like, oh shit, like how bad is they hurt? It's just the worst, man. Now I'm like, I'm very much kind of like, whatever will happen will happen. But man, like, can we just go back to just experiencing?
Oh man, shit? Back in the day, I read Times-Picayune. They'll have like a little page at the end of the week. You know, it'll be Jeff Duncan, or it'd be Brian Allen Walsh, or I forgot the other guy's name. It'd be one of those, and they just give you a rundown of what they saw in training camp that week. It was like really simple, just like you just read it and be like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like. And you just move on. You wouldn't really think about it. But now it's like, so and so left the field. Left the field mid training camp. He was walking with a limp. And then it's like, shit. It's like, you don't even know.
Is it a cramp? Is it a torn
Next
ACL?
day they coming out and they running routes just fine. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I don't. Anyway, yes, getting back to Michael Thomas. It's such a question because if he's able to be moderately healthy most of the season, he changes the offense. He changes the offense. He also changes the right receivers in general, right? That room in general.
Because we've seen that he's QB proof. Like,
yes,
no matter the past couple years, no matter what QBs that's played, he's produced. So like, it doesn't matter. Like, he will help if Mike Thomas is healthy and playing to his style. He will help Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? Like, he will help Derek Carr be a better player.
Absolutely. He absolutely will. So for me, next question headed into training camp. Yeah, mine aren't really, in a weird way, mine aren't really 2-player heavy yet. And this one I will preface by saying it may be hard to even gauge it, but I'm still going to throw it out. Will Dennis Allen handle this training camp differently than last season? What I mean by that, and maybe there'll be a way to gauge it because we hear reports and what have you. But last year, whether it be OTAs, mini camp, training camp, it was a very New Orleans Saints. Like it was very much like the AI practice speech, bro. Like practice, we just like a daisical and just kind of let this shit go and just, we said it so many times before the season started last season, and people thought we were just being a little too overly whatever, but it was very substitute teacher vibes, bro. The kids will be kids, And after a season like you had last season, I would think that type of mentality and that type of just easy going, and I'm not, DA, just that's his personality, is obviously more easygoing than Sean. He's less of a stickler, but you gotta there has to be a balance. And so I'm going to be very interested to see of how training camp is handled and run this season. Is DA more getting into the details and the nuances during the practices, or is he just kind of just vibes, bro? Just like us when at the meetups, bro. Just vibes. It's like
exactly.
I think that's an important thing to be on the lookout for as training camp gets underway.
Right, and I mean, from reports I've heard so far, there's already been a change. There's already been a change in the urgency, player participation, and just the details, like the exact thing we talk about, the details. I think it was the New Orleans football podcast I was listening to. They was talking about even from a media standpoint, it was lax last year. Like they were saying they was walking around parts of the building they never could even get to. Last year they're just walking around like them, like nobody cares, huh? This year is more stringent. It's more stringent as far as what the media can see. You can just tell where the coaches are, what they can see, what they're doing.
Pressure,
pressure, bro. Pressure will come and make you look at every single minutia that you're doing. And I hope they are. I hope they are. And look,
they need to
you never know if that, leads to winning or losing. But I'd much rather them come back and look at all the details. Because Sean, we know one thing about Sean Payton, bro. Sean Payton had them details tight. Maybe too tight sometimes.
Yeah, you might be right. But I miss it.
Absolutely. So I think that's a big thing you pointed out, man. Are they going to just tighten things up, bro? They started 2-3 last year. They won the first game and dropped the next 3 games.
It was slow starts. it was a Panthers game, the Vikings game, and then I don't even remember what the game was after. Was that the Tampa Bay game?
Yeah, the Bucks. Yeah.
Yep, sure was.
So they gotta tighten up. They can't start like, especially on defense, bro. Like the defense got to start off strong. Like the offense, I will give them kind of a pass, not a long pass, but like a pass to kind of work through their lumps early in the season. But the defense, it's a veteran group. Yeah, you got a couple new parts here and there, but they should start off, like a solid defense. They shouldn't start off like last year where, they was looking bad last year, bro. Like, honestly, like, it was looking bad, stopping the run, letting big plays happen. So, that's more of a regular season thing. Training camp, like you say, I just want to see like a nicely tight run operation. It doesn't look like, oh, we here, hey, this is just the same old Saints, man. We're just going to do our thing, the same thing we've been doing. No. This is a new era of the Saints, and it's on y'all to kind of create that new culture.
Back to you.
Biggest question,
bro.
Man, I want to know what's going to happen with Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, man.
What's going to happen with him? He has court on, I think, the 25th or the 26th. Is this thing going to trial, or is this thing getting kicked back? Is Alvin Kamara still him? Is he him? I don't know. I can't answer it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
I'll say one thing, right? And it's a valid question. Obviously, we saw the clips from minicamp. Him being motivated, but it's such a huge unknown. I want to say unknown. It's such a wild card, right? Like we went from knowing year after year as fans what to expect from him as a player, knowing that he was at times and a lot of times the best player on the field, like not on offense, not on defense. I mean, best player on the field for the Saints. And if you rank all the players on the opposing team, he was still the best player. And I saw it with my own eyes in person multiple times. I'll even though this was not the Aaron Donald hurt Breeze game. This was before that. But I went to that Rams game when it was in the Coliseum, and this was like when Brandon Coleman was still on the team, so it kind of tells you how long ago it was. And I'll just never forget AK breaking off that 50-yard plus or whatever long touchdown he broke off against the Rams. Yeah. And there were so many of us Saints fans in the Coliseum. Like, if you go back and listen to that game or watch that game and watch that play, you can hear us. Like, we were loud and we let it be known. To this day, that was also the game where the Rams could not stop him on choice routes. And they couldn't.
When he had 12 touches that game, something like that. It was crazy low number.
And Aaron Donald was on the field that game. This was when they had, it was a good ass Rams team. It was before they won the Super Bowl and kind of hit their peak. But I just left that game thinking, yes, I know we lost and, blah, blah, blah. But it was no doubt in my mind who the best player was on the field when you watch that game. Does that player still exist in AK? I don't know, man.
I don't know, bro.
I don't know. No one knows.
It's
that.
the eye test still tells me he's there. But then sometimes, like I said on the last podcast, there were games last year, I was like, man, AK would have broke that tackle.
Right.
You tackling him with a pinky. You wasn't tackling Alvin Kamara with a pinky back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You had to grip that motherfucker. So yeah, we'll see, bro. He was such a spectacular player, such an alien. I just want to see him. I want to see him ball out. I want to see him at least give us one more.
Just one more, bro.
Just crazy.
I want to. like it was great experiencing like his rookie season, his sophomore season, but it'd be a little different, right? Experiencing it with what we've built on like the Zooms, bruh, and like him just going nasty and just going off run, bro. Just the reaction, bro. Like just our reactions alone on video would be shit that would not go like huge viral, but at least like viral in like the Saints pocket of
Sherm would be on the Zoom just screaming early, like shut up, Sherm. Like what's happening?
Sherman Mark, y'all, this y'all one warning. Swear to God, if y'all fucking spoil a goddamn fucking play for us ahead of time. But I want to experience that with our people, our community we built, man, because that would, it would just be fun. It would be fun to just be able to just have like ain't nothing. There are very few things that as a Saints fan, we've seen a lot, but to this day, AK having a spectacular play and Jimmy Graham having spectacular plays as a fan are still like my probably like the hypest I would get when when something would happen for not including playoff, not including like Super Bowl, but like just Jimmy Graham just having an insane touchdown or AK or just something about those two players. I don't know if it's like the flair or the pizzazz or whatever it is, bro, but it's something about them where it's just
it's just your team had like a blue chip like top level player. You know what I'm saying? Like just a top level. Like Saints rarely had those type of players, man. That are just like all pro.
Which is funny because like Michael Thomas was that, but like I guess maybe like the way he won, it's different. Like I can't describe it.
Yeah, it was more like like a Devontae Adams type. You know what I'm saying? It was very different, but
very workmanlike.
Right, exactly.
That's a good question. Mine, this one actually is going to be player based. Who will come out reigning cornerback 2?
Ooh, that's a big question, bro.
Huge, man.
I can't answer it. I can't answer it.
I know who I want cornerback 2, right? But Alante has to go in and compete and win.
He got to take it.
And like you said, on other podcasts, regardless of what we want to say or what we have said about Dennis Allen in the past, something that you absolutely cannot say is that heading into this training camp, I cannot recall a Saints team that had as much competition at so many positions as this one does. Now, for like the 2011 Saints team, there wasn't a lot of competition. They were just on another level, right? But in terms of just actual competition, we can kind of go through the list, right? You got Alante, you got Paulson Adebo, and quiet as kept. And I know my people might want to talk about it, but like Chris Olave, Rashid, I'm just saying, man, just saying. You got competition all along the offensive line. Competition in the running back room. Obviously it's camaraderie with Jamal Williams and AK, but like we already kind of seen like a little tough between AK and Keandre Miller. I don't think it's anything that's going to be lingering or anything that's wrong. But
you trying to take a little food off the plate, man.
You got to check a little homie. Got to check a little nigga. Let him know who he is. So along the line, running back position, wide receiver, cornerback, also kind of got it with safety, right? Jordan Howard.
Tons of safeties.
Jordan Howard.
Jordan or Abrams, just in there. Abrams a first round pick. Trash, but Smoke Monday.
It's funny. Like he is not panning out to be a good player, but man, that 2020 game that the Saints played against the Raiders, bro,
I remember
that fucking game, bro.
I think they remember that too.
So there's competition all throughout the team, which is great. Kicker, punter,
yeah.
Cornerback 2, who is going to be that person is so fascinating to me, because then the question then becomes, okay, if it's Alante or if it's Paulson Adebo, then what happens with the player who doesn't win that spot in the depth chart?
Right.
Like the consensus and the quote unquote potential logical thing to do is that player would play in the slot, but things do things. Like they seem like they want to have either like Bradley Roby or maybe Jordan Howden or Lonnie Johnson or someone else man the slot. So it's one of those things where it's like, you can never have too many good corners, which in theory is a thing, but if you have too many good corners, like you have to figure out a way for all of them to be on the field for them to play. But it doesn't seem like that may be the case with the Saints, depending on whoever doesn't win the position.
Yeah, man, I don't know how it'll play out. I think it'll kind of work out just on its own as once you start getting a 53-man roster together and injuries and all that stuff play out. I think it'll play itself out correctly, but I mean, just saying if everybody's healthy and ready to go, I think it's just one of them cases where you might have one of those outside cornerbacks just sitting on a bench waiting to get their spot, like, you know what I'm saying? Or coming in on, like real, 3rd and 16 situations, something like that. Like, other than that, I think it's going to be a situation where one of those guys is going to be sitting, unless Alante can really figure out that slot spot, because he's the only one that got some snaps there doing OTAs, from what I understand. I don't think Paulson Adebo got any snaps in the slot as a nickel cornerback.
Which, to some degree, it makes sense because he just doesn't have like that quick twitchness to play the slot.
It's such a different position. You got to be able to tackle. You got to be a force in the run game as a slot corner. You also have to cover both sides. You gotta be smart. It's so much that goes to it. It's crazy that nickel cornerbacks don't get paid much, because I feel like on some level
they're vital to defense.
They're so vital, bro. Especially in today's NFL, where offenses put their best player in the slot now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like the old days where the best player was always on X. Now they'll put you right in the slot. They'll put Justin Jefferson in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
He will kill you.
Well, that's why the Eagles passed on him, bro. They thought he was strictly a slot receiver.
A lot of people did.
I did too. I will own it. I liked him as a player. I saw the talent, but I was like, I was wrong, bro. I was wrong. Sometimes you're wrong. But
I'm not like a big LSU fan, but I just saw enough LSU that year. That dude just a dog, man. Them routes, just nasty, man.
Yeah, nasty. And here's the thing. We're going into fucking scouting, but like that's something that typically just not always, but has a high chance of likely to translate well, man. Yeah. It's just, if you're a good route runner in college, that is something that usually you will be good at in the NFL, and it can help you do well in the league.
Yeah, in any round, back in the day, the old drafts, it was like, man, if you fast, you was getting drafted high, bro. Like, you was fast, so you pretty much had just be fast as a wide receiver, you probably get drafted high. But now, I mean, they want speed high, but they want route running, bro. Like, if you could run routes and really show your ass on them routes, we've seen that really translates to the NFL, man. Chris Olave, we saw that. We picked that early in the draft,
bro. We pegged that his sophomore
year, bro. Like, okay, this dude is a saint. Like, it's just the way he ran routes, man. It was just like, okay, you could just envision him with the Saints.
I mean, we're going down a fucking rabbit hole, but it's just an interesting conversation. Let's go back to when I want to say this may have been, I think this was Sean, maybe it was Sean Payton's last season with the team, if I remember correctly, but he had to like rank the Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith draft class, right? And he said that on the Saints board, they had Devontae Smith as their number one wide receiver.
Yeah, sure did. I forgot about that.
That should tell you and listen, it was wrong, right? Like just wrong.
Yeah, it was wrong.
That's not a slot at Devontae Smith. Devonta Smith. I had questions about him as a prospect because of his size. Right. It has not seemed to limit him in any type of way. Jamar Chase is a generational talent, but that just goes to show of how important running routes was and is the Saints, at least in terms of like how they create their offense and want their wide receivers to be able to have that position.
But then they go and draft Tre'Quan Smith.
But what'd you say though? Fast, right?
Fast.
They didn't draft him in the first round. They drafted him in the third round. They're like, well, this nigga fast. Like, even if anything, we just
tall, fast. That's good enough.
Can we just? Oh, this is a mini question. When is this nigga gonna be off the team, bro? Please, just lead him off, bro.
That turd that can't flush, bro. I don't know. I don't think he going nowhere, man. He gonna be.
You know what Tre'Quan's like, bro? And it hit me just now, and because I was thinking about it earlier. But Tre'Quan like that wasp that stunk you in 2018.
Exactly. That's exactly, bro.
You're like, oh, go, you got me once. Okay, I'm done. Not gonna happen again. Oh shit.
Gotcha. Bang.
Got me. Yeah. All right, I'll let you give me one more, and I'll do one more, and then we'll wrap up.
Last question going into training camp. Like, what is on my mind?
What's on your mind?
There's so much on my mind.
To me. little Jodeci, right?
The biggest thing on my mind right now, bro, outside of what I just already mentioned, is the offensive line as a whole. Like, I know I mentioned Trevor Penning, but the offensive line is still a huge question mark as far as health, who they gonna be. Cesar Ruiz, man, had his best year last year. You know,
bullying works.
Bullying works. We'll see what that means. Like, he's coming off an injury. We'll see if he comes back. Ramczyk, you know, man, dude can't even practice on Wednesdays, bro.
Oh man,
on the injury report every Wednesday, man. Like, who is this offensive line? Do you need like a great offensive line to get to a Super Bowl? No, we've seen that, but you got to have like a nice, at least like a decent crew that can get you through. We can't have the last 2 years where pretty much every game was like a new combination of offensive linemen. So I just really want to see if they could solidify this offensive line, whatever it's going to be. If Trevor Penning is not the player right now, okay, then it's James Hurst. But let that just be the player throughout the season, you know, and just build that continuity going forward and let them do, you know, coach them up to do the best that they could do at whatever they do. So that's my whole thing, man. It's just this offensive line. I'm tired of worrying. I remember years where we didn't barely get any injuries on offensive line. Like, I didn't even think about it. It was just the same players every week. Spoil, bro. Spoil. I just want to get to that.
It's a great question, and it goes. I'm not going to say it's completely dependent on this, because some of it, you know, has been like a slight fall off to a slight degree in terms of his play, but like that question and the AK question goes hand in hand. Like,
oh yeah.
Not to say that AK can't be used in other ways, and that kind of goes back to the whole thing with the motion thing. So, kind of adding an addendum to that question is like, you know, can will we see motion in training camp? Will we see AK used as a wide receiver in training camp? Like,
Right.
can this nigga run a route from the slot position from time to time, bro? Like, but it's so important because, you know, we talked about this last time, and this is just like, this is just simple football stuff. So I'm not saying anything that's like earth shattering, but Derek Carr had his best season with the Raiders when they had like a damn good offensive line. Like, he played well. He was protected. And when Derek Carr's protected, just like most NFL quarterbacks, although not all, but a good number of starting NFL quarterbacks, if you're protected, like, you can make some throws and you can move your offense consistently down the field. And Derek Carr is 100% able to do that. But if he's like here with the Saints and he's just kind of like on a team where, yes, the talent on offensive line may be better talent wise, but if it doesn't actually, if there's no consistency to it, no consistent health to it, just shuffling around all over the place. Is Ram playing this week? Is he not? You know, we gotta is you know, the rookie that they drafted, Nick Solarte, who hasn't even practiced. Like, he's like, no one knows. It's such an unknown going into training camp. And as we can talk about all these nice weapons that they have, and the receivers and Foster Moreau and Juwan Johnson and the running backs and just all of that, but if the O-line ain't up to stuff, bro, like, none of that shit matters ultimately. Like, it's not how you want to play offensive football.
Right. And we saw the last 2 years where, you know, Eric McCoy had to kind of call the protections, and then he'll get hurt, so you have somebody else come in, and protection scheme will be all over the place. You know, I'm thinking, you know, Derek Carr is going to be in control of that for the most part. So we'll see how that works. Like, I want to get back to the old days, man, where, you know, with offensive line, all they got to do is worry about taking care of their business. You know, let Derek Carr come in there and identify the protection scheme, do what they need to do. We'll see. You know, it's going to be a work in progress. You know, everything not going to be perfect. Everybody wants things to work out perfectly starting week 1. I don't think it's going to do that, so I think it's going to kind of be a journey as we go along. But I just want to kind of see them build towards that protection. Man, I remember 2011, man, first like 8-9 games, boy, offensive line was trash, man. Like the Rams game where Drew got sacked like 4-5 times. Charles Brown getting just
oh my God,
abused.
Just abused by Robert Quinn, bro. This before 4K, bro, but it was, whoo, bro. That was.
I remember Carl Nick saying Drew ain't getting sacked the rest of the season. I was like, man, come on now, bro, like, chill. And I don't know if Drew was sacked the rest of the season, but he barely got sacked the rest of the season. Like, it was
if memory serves correctly, Teron Armstead started the next game against the Panthers, right?
No, and like, I'm talking about 2011.
Okay, 11.
You talking about 12?
I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry,
12 or 13. I think you talking about 13.
13.
That's when
that was 13.
13.
Yeah.
No, I remember. Yeah, Teron Armstead. Charles Brown got whipped by the Rams again, by Robert Quinn again.
Yes, and then yes,
and then Teron Armstead came in and oh man,
Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy, boy. Oh Jesus.
My last question, it's kind of a two-parter, so I'll try to make it short, but they're kind of one and the same. My question is, can this young defensive line show that while they're, you know, might not be the most known names in the league, you know, Nathan Shepard, Saunders, you got the rookies, Brian Breesy, Isaiah Foskey, who I expect he'll be signed to his contract before training camp starts. Can they take some pressure off of Cam Jordan? Where yes. I'm not saying that they gotta be just like just gangbusters, bro. Just sacking and not saying that, nor am I expecting that. But can they just not be terrible? I guess
I don't want to be able to. Bar. Yeah, I don't want to be able to draw a line, down the line where they just stonewall, bro. Where it's just all last. Now I was gonna say all last year, but so many times last year, it was just they weren't getting any push, man. It was just it was
none, bro.
Nothing, man, nothing. So I gotta see something. So training camp, especially preseason games, do something, bro. Breesy, do something. Foskey, do something. Carl Granderson, Nick Saunders, all of them. Oh, just do something, man.
Nick, just making up names. Nick Saunders.
Colin Sanders.
So
I can't say your name, bro. I need to know your name. Let me know your name. I don't even know. Say the Jets dude, the dude we got from the Jets. I don't even know his name.
Nathan Sheff. Baby, you don't know my name. My part B to that question. Part B. Can we see some growth from Peyton Turner?
Oh, Lord.
Just man. This is going all right. We talked about it. We talked about it earlier with Cesar Ruiz, and we talked about how bullying works. If that is any indication, Peyton Turner should at least have a 5-sack season, right? At least can he not look in the 5 sacks, bro?
5. That's it. Look, I've already seen the write-ups. It's his first healthy off season, and this, that, that.
You already see it?
I've seen him, bro. So whatever, bro. Show me, man. Show me what you got.
And it's a serious question. I'm not just saying it all jokingly, because if he is just just kind of like how Cesar Ruiz was, and that's the thing about Cesar last season. He was just pleasant. He was pleasantly, surprisingly, just good, average to a little above average to almost borderline good in some games. It's just oh shit,
okay.
In the games that he wasn't good, he wasn't just so atrocious that he was glaringly bad. You know what I'm saying? If Peyton Turner could do that, you were a first round pick. I get it. It wasn't a great draft class.
Right. We passed that.
You got drafted late, but can you just? That's you know what? If Peyton Turner's listening to this podcast, if Miss Turner's listening to this podcast, Peyton, can you get 5 sacks? Or no, sorry, 6 sacks, bro. Can you get 6 sacks this season?
6. Give me 6.
Give us 6. Give us 6.
Some pressures, a little forced fumble here and there.
It would just
getting mentioned on NFL Network.
It would add so much to the defensive line, because he is literally, and don't get me wrong, this is all well deserved, but he is literally thought of as an afterthought, just a jag, because of what he's shown thus far in his career. When you are a first round pick and you're a healthy scratch in the last week of the fucking season, bro, the team is letting you know what they think of you, right?
To the point, I was reading one of those redraft articles, if 2021 was done over, and they had us taking your boy out of the Bucks. What is his name? Or Tryon or whatever.
And he Bucks fans can't stand him either, bro.
I'm saying he hasn't been outstanding, but he's been better than Peyton Turner. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
That's how it is. They had us taking him, and I was like, shit, I'll take him right now, even though he's not some great player, but shit, he's done more than Peyton Turner. At least, can you be that? Can you be that guy?
Can you be Joe Tryon? Tryon Sri Lanka, please. Is that possible? That's it, man. That's all. Just defensive line, the secondary, obviously, depending on health, should be the strength of the team. I didn't want to ask again what Marcus Maye is going to be, because I feel like we've asked that a lot lately. But Here's a question, not for you, and it's kind of just I'm purposely asking it ambiguously. Will the Saints make a move for Hunter Renfrow during training camp? That's my question. We don't got to answer it, bro. It's just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. That is not that, and I'm not asking that because of like some like intel I'm hearing. Just a legitimate question because I don't know. I don't know. Do I think that if all would go well that they still want him as a player? I would say so. The Raiders haven't cut him yet, and it's way past the June 1st date. So don't know if that means that they intend to keep Hunter Renfrow or whatever that may mean. But it's just a question I'm throwing out there. Is that
I think if they feel real good about Michael Thomas, come training camp, I don't think it's gonna happen. But if it's starting to look shaky again, that might be a move they go to at least try.
Makes sense.
Try to make it.
Makes sense. Because it like. I was gonna say something. I don't even want to say it because I've heard that excuse before, so I'm not gonna even. I was gonna do the there's only one football to go around. Like no.
We passed that.
Pass it, bro.
Learn that lesson.
So, anything else you can just not just question related. Anything else you thinking about people to know before we get out of here? I will say that.
I mean, I think Saints fans should kind of celebrate because I just knew at least one Saints player was going to be on that whole gambling.
Oh, the gambling.
I just knew somebody was going to be on that. And it could happen, knock on wood. It don't happen, but it looks like we've made it through. We've made it through. And there won't be any Saints players caught up in that.
I think Trey Klein gambled on the premise, bro. I think he gambled, bro.
He got to get something, man. Something on.
Anyway, we asked some questions. We will wait for the answers in training camp. We don't even know what our schedule is going to be like for training camp. Just know that kind of once training camp hits, we are hitting it fast and hard. I will be on vacation from like the 19th to the 24th. So don't expect any podcast during that time frame. But once I'm back, it is literally full steam ahead. Like there is no stopping us. We will be doing tons of content for you guys, with you guys, for you guys, leading up to the regular season. It is insane because like part of me has for like slightly for a hot second forgot that we have like season tickets for the Saints this season.
Oh shit, yeah.
Right? He's like, oh yeah, I thought that was a thing. So we have so much in store for this community. We'll have more to announce. Hopefully, within the next. Hopefully, I'm hoping we can announce it before I leave on vacation. Like that's the goal. But we got some things cooking, so be on the lookout. Whatever social media you're on, if it's still on Twitter, Instagram, we're on Threads. Follow us, like us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, I don't even know what third party podcast applications are anymore. PodCountry, bro. I don't know. But thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for continuing to support us. We are still at, I think right now we're at like 201 Patreons. So the fact that we have been able to like kind of just have some type of momentum during the off season is really impressive. And we attribute that to y'all. Like y'all keep us going. Y'all support us. We are internally grateful for that. We're internally grateful for this community, this family that we built over the last 3 years. So just know that any changes that are upcoming, it's not like we're going away. We are not going anywhere. We are just changing some shit up because sometimes you just need to change some shit up. So thank y'all for the support. We appreciate y'all. We will be back next week. And until then, we're out.
Peace.